Only through the abstract wonders of the Arabic language could possibly the word for knife be so closely connected to the word for tranquility. Stick around to find out how. Assalamu alaikum everybody. My name's Sam, and I'm your new Arabic teacher. And I'm also the creator of the Arabic in 60 Steps program. And if you haven't heard about it, it might be the best program in the world. We've just had some new books designed and they look absolutely amazing. So I'm really happy to be launching those soon. So let's get into it. So a very warm welcome to, well, this is a new little series we're actually doing here on the channel, just called Talk Time. But it's something that we're doing every Sunday, because at the moment we have a little bit of a theme going on. We have like topics on Saturday, talks on Sunday, texts on Friday. But this is also episode 39 of the podcast too, because the talk kind of goes well with it being a kind of longer form podcast too. But in this video slash podcast slash wherever you're watching this, what we're going to be talking about is just a little root in the Arabic language. And it's a really useful one. And we have maybe 10 words or something that actually come from this one Arabic root. And we're also going to be kind of bridging the gap that some of my students have had in the past about how do these two words that seem completely juxtaposed, how do they have the same root? And this video is actually thanks to two other people actually. It's thanks to Qasid Institute in Jordan. Incredible institution. I've known lots of people who have studied there, and I've even met some of the teachers there as well, because I went to Jordan for a little while, and I had huge, it was my great pleasure to go and watch them teach and stuff there. And but anyway, so they had this post up on their Instagram recently, just some of the words that come from this same root, and then it was reposted by my friend Habib, who's the founder of Ihsan Arabic, and I saw it and thought, I'm gonna repurpose that into a podcast for my students. So what is this Arabic root? So the root letters, this is a thulathi root. There are 3 letters in the root, and it is sin, kaf, and noon. The most kind of simple base verb from it would be sakana, which just means to live or to dwell somewhere. The present tense would be yaskunu. So it's one of these that goes fatha damma, sakana, yaskunu. And so he lived, sakana. He is living, yaskunu. And its usage in kind of dialects is very commonly, especially in Egypt, is heard as sakin. You say like ana sakin. It means like I am living. For Egyptian, Amiya likes to use the fa'il a lot. So you'd say ana sakin fi whatever. Ana sakin fi do'i. Do'i is a place in Cairo, for example. Anyway, so let's run through these, okay? So first we have, the first one that they mention is the word sukoon. Sukoon is from this same root, and the sukoon is just the little circle you see on the top of consonants, and it means that it's vowelless. So for example, in the word yaskunu, the sin is sakina, right? Because it has a sukoon on it, right? So yaskunu, it's not yasakunu. It's yaskunu, so it's vowelless, right? That's what we mean by a sukoon. The next is the term sakinatun. Sakinatun, which means tranquility. It's used in the Quran in I'm thinking of Suratul Fath, something like that. I'm not sure, but there's a nice ayah about that it being Allah who sends Sakina into the hearts of the believers. But yeah, Sakina, it means tranquility. And that's kind of the one which we're juxtaposing with the word sakinun, because a sakin is a knife, but perhaps as we kind of walk our way through the different meanings of it, perhaps we'll come around to understanding a bit more how to break the gap. So perhaps we kind of understand that the word sukoon, it means it's vowelless, it's silent, and then sakina, like sakina is tranquility, and your tranquility would kind of come from silence. You know, if you're a parent like me with two troublesome boys, you can appreciate why a bit of silence would be nice. Anyways, perhaps we'll kind of fill in the gaps though as we kind of go through another 7 or 8 different words that come from the same root. So we also have the word sekaniyun, which just means ash grey. It's a grey colour. I don't think we even have enough context to build that root yet. I mean, yeah. Okay, so what have we got next? Meskunun. So that really makes sense. I mean, the ism maf'ul is like if the thing has been done to it, right? So for example, if we have the verb kataba, which means to write, something which is maktub means it's been written. So sakana is to live or to dwell somewhere. So meskun would mean it's been dwelled in or lived in, right? So meskun, that makes sense. If something's inhabited, it's meskun. Next one is a musekkinun. Musekkin, which is a painkiller or a sedative. I think that's where you put it. Maybe you Americans say sedative. I think we say sedative. But anyway, it's a painkiller. And you can kind of... Okay, so if you think about Sakina being tranquility, coming from Sakina, like to dwell somewhere or to live somewhere. Often the relationship between like this normal verb, like a Sakina or a darasa, normal kind of verb, and the form 2 verb or the fa'ala verb. So darasa is to learn, by the way. Darasa is to make someone else learn, right? So perhaps if we were to have Sakina, to live or to have tranquility or something, or to have safety somewhere, we'd have Sakana, would mean to give tranquility to something else, perhaps, right? So when we have a musekkin, which is from Sakana, it kind of makes sense that is a thing that gives tranquility to something else, i.e. a painkiller, right, or a sedative. I don't know if the meaning of that extends to like drugs. That I don't know about that, but because of course I wouldn't know about that. Cool. So we've seen Sakine already. I jumped the gun, jumped ahead on that one. Another one that I kind of added to the list, because actually in the list wasn't just the verb sakana, meaning to live somewhere. I kind of added that. And another one is the word sukkan. Sukkan means like the population, right? You often read in articles and stuff when it's talking about a certain place. You say like عدد السكان في هذه المدينة or something like that. The population, عدد السكان. Those who are really commonly used together, عدد السكان. Because عدد is a number and a sukkan would be the population. And yeah, which makes sense. The population are the people who live in a certain place or they dwell in a certain place. So, I mean, how we get knife from it? I mean, there are. I think it takes a little bit of mental agility to get to knife as well. But anyway, it is indeed from the same root, and we have a few other meanings in there. We've done 10 new words. Walillah alhamd. Just before we end this little episode, I know this one's been relatively quick, so I'll take a second of your time just to remind you guys of something. So the Arabic in 60 Steps program is definitely still accepting students. I had an email the other day saying that because I'd kind of been active on my Sam of Somalia stuff and I hadn't really been on here talking about the Arabic in 60 Steps program much, they were wondering if it was still active. It is still very much active, and in fact it's better than ever because students on the program now get my actual phone number. Yeah, which I think is amazing, really. Like, if I'd have had the opportunity to have an actual Arabic teacher's phone number, that would have changed the whole game for me when I was learning the Arabic language. Because sometimes you just need someone to bounce things off of. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't need to book. You don't want to book a whole hour with someone on Skype. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just need to say, Sam, I've come across this phrase and I don't get it. Can you just iron this out for me? Do you know what I mean? My students have the opportunity to do that, which I think is some of the best student support of any online program that I've ever known in my life. So it's incredibly time consuming for me, but it's what's best for the students, and that's what matters. So anyway, get yourself on the Arabic in 60 Steps program if you need a full, structured, flexible, amazing Arabic language program. I'll see some of you guys on the inside. But either way, see some of you guys on Friday, inshallah, because that's when our next video will be. That will be a text video. We're doing a little proverb about time. So I'll see you guys then. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وينصرك الله نصرا عزيزا هو الذي أنزل السكينة في قلوب المؤمنين ليزدادوا إيمانا مع إيمانهم ولله جنود السماوات والأرض وكان الله عليما حكيما